Hello everyone, welcome back to Everyday Kelly. My name is Kelly. So today's video is a little bit of a different video. I haven't really planned it a whole lot. I just thought I would do something a little off the cuff. So today I'm going to talk about my top 5 favorite movies that I enjoy watching during Halloween time. Now, I am the type of person that doesn't really have a stomach for really scary movies. I like the more like gothic or family-oriented style scary movies or Halloween movies. So this list is going to reflect that. So if you are like me and you don't really like really scary movies, this list might be for you. So stick around and see what my top 5, counting down from 5 to 1, my top 5 horror or scary movies to watch for Halloween. So number 5 is Crimson Peak. So I believe this movie came out in 2015, and I went to the theater to see this because the previews looked really good. It is one of those type of gothic type horrors, and it's directed by Guillermo del Toro, so it's very stylistic, it's very nice looking. The movie is about this young woman who meets the very dashing Thomas Sharp. They get married, and he brings her home to his ancestral home. It's a Gothic mansion in the English countryside, and his sister lives there as well, and she's kind of mysterious. And of course, things start to happen, and the young woman, Edith, she starts to find out everything that this family and this house is hiding. Once again, very atmospheric, more of a gothic horror. I guess there are parts of it that can be considered a little scary, but I don't find it scary. And like I said, I am a big chicken when it comes to really scary movies, and I don't find this movie scary. So I don't think it's going to be something that will be very scary for you, but it's a really good movie and I really enjoy it. Number 4 is Bram Stoker's Dracula, that was directed by Francis Ford Coppola. At the time when this movie came out, it came out in 1992. It was a little bit more of a hot, like updated version of Dracula, had a lot of really popular actors in it at the time. Even though the story still takes place in like the 1890s when the book was written, it was just kind of like updated for our generation. I think I did go to the theater to see this, and I really enjoyed it, and it's been one of those movies that I just always really enjoy watching. So if you're not familiar with the story of Dracula, if you've never read the book or seen any other movie version, it is told through journal and letter entries and things like that. It's about this young lawyer named Jonathan Harker who goes from England to Count Dracula's castle in the Carpathian Mountains to help him finalize some like real estate deal of some property that he's buying in England. And then of course Dracula imprisons him and kind of wreaks havoc and, does all these things. What I really like about this movie as well is they kind of like made Dracula a little bit more sexy. He's played by Gary Oldman. He's got this long, luxurious brown hair. Of course, he has his more scary personas as well, but that is how he appears to Mina and a lot of the outside world. So they really kind of lean into that sort of romance between Jonathan Harker's fiancée Mina and Dracula. Another thing too is the score. I really love the music in this movie. I think I even did buy the CD soundtrack of it because it's just really great and atmospheric to listen to as well. But it's a really great movie. So movie number 3 on my list is a movie that I actually just watched last night, and it is Anne Rice's Interview with the Vampire. So if you have never seen Interview with the Vampire, It is about this vampire, this 200-year-old vampire named Louis, who is telling his story to a writer, reporter sort of character, I think, played by Christian Slater. And he's recounting his life and his journey over the past 200 years as a vampire. So he was made by the vampire Lestat, who was played by Tom Cruise. This is a character that Anne Rice writes a lot about in a lot of her other novels, but Interview with the Vampire was the first one. So we don't know a whole lot about Lestat at this point, but I just love this movie. I can't really say that much about it. I love the whole historical aspect. I love the fact that, you know, Louis is a 200-year-old vampire and he's got this whole history to kind of tell. Because at the end of the day, I think that's what we really love about vampires, is the fact that they live for so long and they just have a lot of experiences and a lot of different lives to tell. But it's a great movie. I really love this movie. I know at the time when it initially came out, there was a little bit of controversy, I think. Anne Rice wasn't really happy with the fact that they had cast Tom Cruise as the vampire Lestat because he didn't really fit what she had written for the character. And I think Lestat's supposed to be, or anyway, what she had in mind for at this point, for what Lestat was supposed to look like, because he's supposed to be very tall. I think he's supposed to be over 6 feet tall. But I also think that once she had seen him in the role, she accepted it and she was okay with it. She did write the screenplay for it, which I think is a really wonderful thing. I kind of feel like a lot of authors must later on think about their work once it's published and maybe think in their minds like, I should have had the characters say this, I should have had them do this. And I feel like this was an opportunity for her to alter some things that maybe she might want to have changed in the original book. I really like the way that she changed some of the dialogue and really kind of simplified the storyline. And it's just a movie that I really love. I'm actually currently making my way through the book right now because I've actually never read it. But I have read a lot of her other vampire-oriented, like the Vampire Chronicles, and I have read the Vampire Lestat, and I've read a bunch of other ones. And I just really love that world that she's created. And this movie is no exception. Okay, so movie number 2 is a little movie called The Resurrected. Now, I'm willing to bet that you have probably never heard of this movie. It's a little bit of a low-budget movie. It was never released in theaters, I don't think. I think the intention of it was to release it in theaters at one point, and then I think it went to some festivals, and then they just released it direct to video. Came out in 1990. It is starring an actor that I really love, who appears on my list again, named Chris Sarandon. So this movie has everything that I love about a very atmospheric, kind of gothic story. So this movie is based on a novella by H.P. Lovecraft called The Case of Charles Dexter Ward. And the story is about this woman who enlists the help of a private investigator to investigate some strange things that her husband is doing. He is carrying out some secret experiments. He has moved away from their house into the country to a home that one of his ancestors owned on a farm in the country. And she just wants to know what's going on. And so the ensuing investigation is just very interesting. Once again, a little bit of a historical aspect there to it. And it really is just a wonderful, not very scary. Once again, it's not a scary movie. It has a very good story to it. And I promise you, if you seek this movie out and give it a watch, you will not be disappointed. And the number one movie on my list of movies that I like to watch at Halloween time is, drumroll please, Fright Night. Now, I can't even tell you how much I love this movie. When I was younger, I used to watch this movie all the time. And when I say all the time, I mean like at least once a week, if not more. I absolutely loved this movie. And part of that reason is because I just really love the actor Chris Sarandon. So if you have never seen this movie, it is about a young teen named Charlie Brewster who has suspicions that the man named Jerry Dandridge, who has moved in next door to him, he has suspicions that he is a vampire. When he starts to see some missing women in the news, and he knows that he has seen these women coming and going from Jerry Dandridge's house, he has his suspicions. And of course, nobody believes him. His girlfriend, his friends, his mom, nobody believes him. So he kind of sets out to prove that he is right and that he is a vampire. Of course, he is a vampire. I mean, spoiler alert. And the character is just a very sexy vampire. As I said, I just really enjoyed watching this movie growing up. It's very nostalgic for me now. Sometimes I wish that I could erase my memory of certain movies that I really enjoyed watching when I was young and watch them today with a fresh perspective and a fresh eye, having never seen it. Because I don't know how somebody else who has never seen this movie would perceive it. But for me, it's very nostalgic because I grew up watching it. And I just really love it. Now I'm going to give you a bonus movie because it didn't fit on my 5. I mean, it kind of does, but of course this list is a movable list. From week to week or year to year, it might change. This is just how I feel right now. But I will give an honorable mention and give you a bonus movie that I really enjoy watching during Halloween time, which is Ernest Scared Stupid. So this one is a family-oriented movie about the lovable and kind of accident-prone Ernest, played by Jim Varney. So this is part of a series of movies that Jim Varney did with this character Ernest. And so in this one, it sees Ernest helping a group of kids who have awakened this troll. I don't know if he's a demon, but he's a troll who has been kind of in a sleep, I think, for a couple hundred years. And these kids awaken him, and they have to stop him from what the troll does is he goes and he steals little children and turns them into little wooden dolls. And so Ernest helps these kids to stop the troll. And so this one I really enjoy actually watching like on Halloween because it's actually a Halloween movie. And it's just really fun. So if you haven't watched that one, I recommend you check it out. So there you have it. There is my top 5 with an honorable mention of the movies that I really enjoy watching for Halloween. Please comment and let me know what your favorite scary movies are. They're probably a lot more scary than the ones that I've chosen, but let me know in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to see more videos on my channel, please don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you very soon in another video.